Welcome back to the unofficial Squarespace Entrepreneur Podcast. My name is Omari Harabin, and on the last episode, we got to talking about engineering serendipity. And engineering serendipity is a mental model that I've used over the years to create a digital presence, to create marketing plans and strategies online, and it's all based around a very simple idea, which is that good marketing should feel like the answer to a prayer. And if we unpack serendipity for a moment, right? That's this feeling of uh, like a lucky destiny, right? Like we're destined to have this good fortune occur without us knowing. And so, as a service provider, engineering serendipity is when we become mindful of the story that our customers or prospects are living through, and specifically the moment that some type of crisis occurs, right? Something that sets them off balance in their world, that now creates a desire within them for a solution. And when we can be deliberate about how we market, right, in this context, what we're doing is we are literally placing our product or service, our solution, in the vicinity of that problem, in the vicinity of uh, that crisis, so that as the crisis happens and occurs, uh, our prospect doesn't have to take too many steps to get to our solution. In fact, our solution could be, our marketing could be an ad, right? We could have a paid ad that feels like, oh my gosh, this is exactly what I needed at this time, right? A lot of solopreneurs shy away from paid advertising, but when you're engineering serendipity, sometimes you have to use paid advertising, right? To get closer to the prospect and their problem and their crisis. Um, so there's this awareness of our customer story, the fact that they're destined to go through this problem, they're destined to have this crisis occur, and we are creating the other part of that destiny. We're creating the part where now they're also destined to find the solution. So most of my customers, right, they are destined to run into a Squarespace roadblock. It's bound to happen, right? Before they even decide that they're gonna, specialize in the platform or whatever. Um, I know, right, that they're gonna have a client who's gonna ask, "Hey, can you make this happen with my site?" And they're gonna say, "Oh my gosh, I don't know. I'm not sure." Right? This is a very small crisis moment, right? It's like, well, I'm a little bit off balance now because there's a dilemma, right? I now have to produce something that I'm not entirely sure is possible, and I've run into a roadblock and I have to kind of get free of that, right? And so if they decide to go to Google with that problem, right, then my job as a marketer in engineering serendipity is to make sure that uh, I reverse engineer my content to speak directly to that need, right? If they're a social person, right, and they go to a Facebook group to solve this problem, then hopefully someone in that Facebook group uh, has gone through and is aware of my solution as well, and is able to recommend it, right? These are different uh, examples of engineering serendipity, and it's just marketing. But it's the awareness that your prospect is bound to run into a particular sort of problem at a particular time, and also knowing, okay, well, where, if that was me, like, where would I go? Who would I talk to? Um, and then making sure that you got something there, right? You got a piece of content, you have an affiliate, you have uh, some sort of presence that speaks to the story of your client or your customer. So that's it in a nutshell. It's a very simple idea, but like with most of my approach to marketing, there's a reverse engineering that has to happen. Right? So it doesn't matter if you've had hundreds of clients or you just had one, as long as you've had a successful project at some point in time, right, where that you enjoyed thoroughly and your client enjoyed thoroughly. Now we just want to create more of that. And to do that, we just have to get back to our client's origin story as it relates to the problem they came to you for. Now, hopefully, you already know that, or you're already aware. But if not, it is the most important thing that you need to know and get to know from your client is that that moment, that sequence of events that led to them reaching out to you or finding you or discovering you or being referred to you. And I have a version of that where after someone buys a plugin, they get an email from me the next day that follows up to find out, what was it that uh, made you willing to give this a try? Because remember, there's also a risk on the part of the customer. It's like, well, what if it doesn't work, or what if I decide, or what if this turns into a bad experience? Right. So getting in front of that risk, and de-risking the whole situation for your prospect by getting to know. All right, so I'll give you an example. Right, uh, a common thing that comes up is like, oh well, a client wanted to be able to display their team page a certain way. Right now, it's funny because I don't know if I've done this explicitly, but to now engineer serendipity would be to create some content around how um, my prospects or how my customers have used the product after the fact, so that if there are others, right, who would be interested in using it that way, now when they stumble on it, it's like, aha, or wow, or I didn't know this was possible, right? And the quality of those moments in my ideal world should feel like a miracle. When you engineer serendipity, your marketing, it doesn't feel like a drag or a bore or pushy or over the top or anything. It feels, for the right person, it feels like a relief. And it feels like it has been perfectly crafted and tailored just for them. And that is the most important thing with online marketing, because there's so many people, there's so many perspectives and ideas that you can't really lose from getting really specific, because, and especially when it comes to like the emotion that someone is going through at a particular time, because we're human and we can feel these things and we can resonate. I can only resonate with a frequency that matches mine. If the frequency is all over the place, or if it's trying to do too much, it's not going to hit me, right? And so that's why applying this kind of specificity to your marketing by engineering serendipity and reverse engineering uh, your fantastic, spectacular client experiences, so that you can then create more of them on the front end. That's it. Hopefully, you found this useful. Let me know in the comments if there's a comment near this, or I think you can leave a message if you listen to this podcast on Spotify. You can leave